briefly, Prime Minister has deplaned. We're getting visuals of him being received by many people there. I'm guessing they must be part of the Indian consulate in Switzerland and others. As Krishna was mentioning, there's a huge delegation that India is carrying. The theme this time is creating a shared future in a fractured world. And the Prime Minister will be, of course, delivering his opening speech on that line. Krishna, as we continue to speak over those visuals, the Prime Minister all set to now get into the car. He is set to, leave from the airport and set to arrive in Davos very shortly. But creating a shared future in a fractured world is something India can give a lot of messages on. Because India in itself is a mini world, isn't it? A people of many kinds, so many languages, all kinds of expectations, aspirations together. So India is really the best country to give a message on that, even as we look at the world order changing. Prime Minister there interacting with the people there to receive him at the airport. Terribly cold it is, of course, in Switzerland, especially where you are, Krishna, as well. I'm sure you're enjoying the snow. Prime Minister getting into the car and he is set to arrive in Davos, Krishna.
That's right. So it's going to take him a while, if I may, because the roads here are all clogged up with snow, and traveling over here is getting increasingly difficult. Keep in mind, it's the most snowy that Davos has been in over a decade. That's what I understand from the locals over here. It has never snowed as much as it has snowed this year, making all the arrangements and all the travel a little bit more difficult. Even for the locals, it has become a little more difficult than usual, this year. So it's a special year, and the snow seems to be especially coming down for India, I guess, because when it rains it pours, when it snows, I guess it snows like this in Davos, especially when India is the headlining act at the World Economic Forum in Davos. And so Prime Minister has touched down, and he will be taking a while to trek up to the mountains town of Davos. Because by road it is that much more difficult. I'll tell you, the cars are moving very slow over here. Prime Minister Modi hopefully should reach sooner than later over here, because he's got a very packed schedule. He needs to have a reception dinner tonight itself, and then after that it's chock-a-block, because it will be his opening address tomorrow morning, and then he'd like to have a whole lot of meetings as well. So Prime Minister Modi here is going to have a very packed schedule. That's one thing for sure, because it won't be just the reception dinner where he meets the CEOs. He will be meeting global leaders as well, in these quick pull-asides, one-on-one conversations with global leaders, and keeping that in mind, Prime Minister Modi's countdown for the big opening address has already begun, and even before the countdown for that comes the dinner tonight. Let me remind everybody, there's a reception dinner one day before the World Economic Forum in Davos officially kicks off tomorrow morning, and that reception dinner is being hosted by India, with Prime Minister Modi meeting about 40 to 60 CEOs, including top Indian CEOs and top global CEOs. Keep in mind, Prime Minister Modi is also arriving with some top union ministers: Honorable Minister Piyush Goyal, Honorable Minister of State for PMO Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister Suresh Prabhu, Honorable Minister MJ Akbar. So it is top ministers from the union cabinet plus the top businessmen from India. All of them have converged over here to send out a strong message to the world, be it the political leaders of the world or be it the businesses of the world, that it is India. Time has come to invest in India, because India has always been an important place to invest, but now it has become that much more easier to invest in India, because you do have the place, as in the investment destination called India, being made easier and simpler. Because for a lot of global investors, the question is, how simple is it to get through Indian systems and processes to invest and earn a good return? Now with uniform taxation, it is clear as to what rates global businesses will be taxed in. With the fact that regulatory hurdles have been removed, especially for foreign direct investment, it is that much more simpler to apply and get through to get permission to do business in India. Keep in mind, the government of India has also been doing a lot of investment, foreign direct investment through the automatic route, which means it doesn't even require a permission or an approval from the government, and that they can just go ahead and do 100% FDI in retail, which was opened up just a few days ago, just a couple of weeks ago, meant that this foreign direct investment can come through the automatic route without the need to get a permission from the government. So, at this stage, it is basically telling the world that India, whatever we need to do to keep it as the best business destination is already done. Time now for people to come over here, invest and partner up.